Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode. With this one we're going to be doing some training when it comes to basically the tutorial aspects of GM and then also a little bit more of the advanced side. So we'll cover the basics real fast and then we'll move right in. When you first get into GM, it's going to look something like this. Now you might have to vote yourself in if it's on a public server. Which is very easy. Go to the player list, and then it will tell you whatever button it is. It will tell you on the bottom of the screen. You just press start, go to players, so then it'll be like PlayStation will be triangle and Xbox will be Y. You're just gonna click that and vote for yourself, and you will have to wait if there's other players in the server to vote for yourself. If you ever want to practice around, just go to single player, and you can practice around on GM. But if you do want to actually start GMing, this is the video for you. So just to give you guys a rundown of all the different buttons, look at the very top. You'll see all of these up here. This is if you're on single player. This row right here, essentially like pause the game or create a new one or load one, saved or save as. You can name it and stuff. You're not gonna have to worry about any of these in a multiplayer session, guys. It's all these ones over here. All right. So you have your map. You have your night vision if you have the night vision mod on. You have your it's a local. It's basically it brightens it, makes it easier to see at night without night vision. Toggle in a phrase just makes it so it's good for some screenshots if you want to do that. The guided tour will help you a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it helps that much. And clear dead or destroy debris. So, for instance, what that means if I spawn a bunch of guys here, right, and they're actually there right now. If I go ahead and kill them, if the guys are dead, if I go up to that top bar and I click this little refresh icon, what it'll do is it will normally, I don't think they've been dead long enough yet. Have to give it a second. I'll get to them in a second. But basically, it'll clear debris that have been there for a little while. Still hasn't done it quite yet. But then you scroll over to the bottom. You have Gamemaster, you have Arma Vision. You'll also have admin here if it's your own personal server. If you have to punch in an admin code, um, which you can use that by using the text chat. Also, it's this text chat right here. But what you'll do, guys, is in this little text chat up here at the top left, you will type in hashtag login and then the code for the admin, or you'll type in hashtag login, or sorry, hashtag logout. Now, if it's hashtag login, then it's a space and then it's the actual password. Again, so hashtag and login is one word, space, and then the password, just so you know how to do that. Now, that was just some of the basics to get started. Let's go over the bottom stuff and how you actually build. Now, let's actually check it and see if this will work now. There you go. See how it all disappeared? So that's that little recycle icon there. It'll clear debris and get rid of stuff for you. Okay, let's go into it. So when you basically first log in on GM, okay, when you first get into the game, you're not going to be able to do nothing until you actually have a faction. So you need to create your factions. Now, if you look at the bottom left, you'll see that plus icon right next to the left arrow key, kind of a little bit below the middle on the left hand side. Go ahead and click that left arrow key. It's going to pop up your factions list. Now I have a couple mods, so I have Middle East insurgents, Middle East civilians, and civilians down there, FIA, Russians, Americans, but we're going to do Americans. So I'm going to click on American and highlights. I can click multiple factions if I want, but we're not going to do that, up to 4. We're just going to do American. After I do that, if you're looking at the bottom left, you'll see where it says save and close. We're going to go ahead and click on that real quick. Now you'll notice there's an American flag where that plus icon was. Now we have a new faction. When people come in, they can spawn as Americans. But the thing is, they can't spawn just yet. They can choose the faction they want, but they can't spawn just yet. So we need to do something about that. So if you look down at the bottom, you'll see where it says Open Entry Browser. Well, that's what we're going to want to do. So for me on PlayStation, it's the touchpad icon. So I'm going to click the touchpad. It's going to pop up all of this stuff, right? This is a lot to look through. You have down here below this, you can kind of see where it says 1 out of 165. I can click R2, the trigger buttons, and look through all my different things here. I also can have, like, this can be on Russians, and the one up top, I can click R1, and I can have another section. This just makes it so you can be really quick and on the fly. You have different tabs. These tabs can be interchangeable at the top. It's just for the convenience of being quick. You have multiple tabs open at once. But we're not going to worry about any of that right now. We're going to go down the left-hand side, and I can get into a little bit more of what all these are. So obviously you have your factions up here. It's the ones we went up against, or we were talking about a second ago. So if you have like, this is a game master situation, we are the U.S. forces, and we might want to be fighting the Soviets or fighting the Middle East insurgents. So if I click on Middle East insurgents, now I have the Middle East insurgents, and I can set up a scenario by dropping them into the field. So let's go ahead and go back there. So we're going to turn that off, but we need to worry about putting the spawn point down first. How do we do that? Well, that's going to be classified under these entity types down here, right? Now, these first ones between right here and here, these are all vanilla. Between object and group, all those are vanilla, right? So group is basically a group of individuals. Character is a single character. Vehicles are all the vehicles. System has to do with actual things that have a function in order to be in order for players in the map. But basically, like, if you need to repair a vehicle, well, that's going to be a system. If you need to refuel a vehicle, that's going to be a system. Same thing with spawn points. It's a system. So we're going to click on that, and usually right there, boom, we got the spawn point right at the beginning. We're going to click that spawn point. We're going to drop that down, right? Now if I exit Gamemaster here real quick, and I'll hold X, now I have US faction I can choose from, and now I can hold X. There's my spawn point. Spawn in. Ta-da. I'm here. Let's go back into GM real quick. So there we go. We made a spawn point. That's the easy part. Go back into entity. Let's keep going along what we were talking about, right? So system, you can see, like, you have boxes, you have landmines you can place down, all this different stuff. All of these are interactable with fuel point, base management point, helicopter rearming station, radio antennas in order to communicate at long distances. But then that goes into all systems. So it's showing the Russian ones, it's showing the American ones, it's showing the FIA ones. You can easily downsize how many things to choose from if you just enhance your search, essentially. So if I want systems, but I only want US and systems, and I just click on US and systems, and look, I've only got exactly 2 pages worth of stuff to choose from there. Helps me narrow down my item. Now it will take a little while and skill in order to, use and have all these items and know which is which, and then you know exactly what you're looking for, which will make you a more effective GM, but it's just going to take a little bit of time. I digress, though. Next one on the list we have this one here, which is basically the different type of compositions. So this has to do with defenses. This has to do with basically structures like command posts and stuff like that. Helicopters spawn locations, vehicle spawn locations, and you can kind of see that. It goes into the Russian, shows the Russian, shows the FIA. It shows all of them, essentially. One thing you can do too, here's a pro tip. If you want to create a game master scenario where a bunch of guys are having to go out to a specific location, let's say they're leaving the airbase here and they got to drive up here and set out a camp right here in this field right here, right? Well, something you can do as a GM, pro tip, set up a command post, right? And then spawn your guy in here real quick. Come over here and start building, and then build yourself like build yourself a radio tower. Whatever your base you want it to look like. I'm just gonna throw some random stuff down here. Go back into GM, delete this command post, and then when your guys show up to the area to actually start building the base, they just pull out their shovel and away they go. They start actually building the base up like they had to come here. Or you can do this with defenses too. It's a pretty fun little thing that you can do to create a scenario, make it feel more real for the guys. They have to come in and build something like this. That's something they can do. But again, I digress on that too. So that's something you guys can do. You can also delete them in GM once the mission's done. No problem if they're built or not built. Makes it really easy. And if you're wondering how I'm making my character, just do this. If I'm on PlayStation, I'm double tapping X. If you're on Xbox, you're tapping square, I think it is. It's the bottom one. So very easy to get around there too. And if you have a group of people too, guys, you have a group of people. If you just hold that bottom button, hold X for PlayStation, for example, you can highlight a group of players. You'll notice that there's this little white circle surrounding them. That's the entities you have selected. Watch it. I'll make it disappear. I'll press circle or B on Xbox. See how it disappeared? Select them. They have that little circle. And just click on one of them, and you'll move them all. That's how you do it. You just tap B to let go of them, essentially. You're not holding, you're just tapping it. So those are your compositions, those are your entries. You have objects as well, which are just random objects, and there is a ton of these that you can use to basically help add to the immersion a little bit. Like if I had a schoolhouse and I had a bunch of these, we're going to extract a POW that's an abandoned schoolhouse. I could have some of this stuff on the table to make it feel more in depth, essentially. The more stuff that you add, guys, the more in depth your mission will be. It takes more. It adds more immersion, which gets people's attention. So, guys, I'm just gonna kind of introduce mods here a little bit too. There's a couple mods in this game that will literally make your game play so much more different. And this is one of the ones I recommend, guys. You have Gamemaster FX and you have Gamemaster Enhance. I'll talk a little bit more about these now. It literally, guys, will make it amazing. And one of the ones that I recommend is the Gamemaster FX and the Gamemaster Enhance. They're two different mods, but you'll need Gamemaster FX to be able to have it. So this is the first one. It's going to add a bunch more effects to your gameplay, allowing you to do all kinds of stuff. So like small explosions to large explosions. Whoop, wrong one. To large explosions. Also, it'll have fire effects. You can, like, have a burnt out car instead of on fire, which will actually add smoke. And then you could just have like smoke by itself. You have black smoke. You could have white smoke if it's like chemical fire versus just a smoldering building or something. This stuff really takes the cake when you have a lot of this going on when you're entering a city or something. You should just see people, the way they react. They lock in with these small little details when you add them to the server. See how I hold select on that. Now, guys, you're probably wondering what this is. I'm pulling this wheel up all the time. I've been going a little too fast, but you go over any item at all and you hold square over it, it's gonna or X if you're on Xbox, it's gonna pop up this wheel, right? And first thing is Gamemaster ping, which allows any other game masters to see what's going on. This one's a regular ping, which allows players to see what it is. It'll ping their location. They'll see the marker pop up. Kind of helps direct people, AIs and such. I don't recommend using it unless you're just trying to get people together before or not. If you do it during the op, it can take away from the immersion. Moving camera just kind of extends the camera a little bit. Snap to terrain. If I have an object, for instance, and it's like, oh, that's way off point. That's not supposed to be there. Just hover over it, and then this one snaps to terrain. It'll bring it right back down to where it needs to be. And then cast lightning. If you got a bunch of people that are in your lobby and they're team killing, just cast lightning. Immediately kills anybody within this vicinity. Very easy. Then you have the find and enter tree browser, which basically means if I'm looking for a specific object, I can search it up real quick. It won't always work with the mods, but let's try it for a vehicle, right? Let's just throw a vanilla vehicle out there like this vehicle. If I search for an entity browser, it'll pop up the vehicle and the different types of vehicles for it, so I can find that specific thing very easily. And then finally, you have the delete item, which will literally delete it. But you could select a group of items by holding that X key and then holding square. And you can delete everything at once. So that's pretty easy. You got a couple other items down here. Really, I'm not going to go over all these mods, guys, because that would take a while and this video would become 2 hours long. But what I will say, though, is if you, this is just for the sake of GM. This one right here, IHGM Prop Collectibles. This is a fantastic, oh, we still got something else on there on the browser. Guys, if you ever see me doing that, like I'm clearing this stuff real quick, and it goes back to the regular scenario, clears that whole side. It's the R3 button. If you look at the bottom, just a little off to the right, it says reset filters. Press R3, push on the right analog stick essentially. Watch, you'll see the R3 button down there. You'll see it light up when I click it. See it? Do it again. Okay, it basically clears out this this tab up at the top. See the 4 tabs up here? 1, 2, 3, 4. If I press R3 on all of them, it takes it back to the vanilla settings. So that's why I could have it. Like if I wanted to simulate an explosion, for instance, right? What I could do is I could have a vehicle set. Have the vehicle set up there. But then I wanted to have in Gamemaster effects, I wanted this to smoke real quick. I wanted to cause a big explosion at the same time. This is not the best example, but it's something. So what I could do is, if I had something on different tabs, right, I could cause the explosion. Oh, also, here's another one too. The neutralize button, guys, it's another one you can click that actually helps, it destroys the vehicles, that little neutralize button. You can also, with vehicles, you can set them on fire. You can exhaust them. And you can also set smoke as well. But we're going to take all that away. We're just going to exhaust that. And we're going to say that what happened was there was a massive explosion. The vehicle got destroyed. And then we'll say there was a gas leak. And it lit up around the vehicle as well. But what I could do is if there was more to it, I could put something else here as well. Like I could have some stuff here, and I could have some stuff here, and then instead of me just like using this down here, I could drop one item, and then switch to the next tab and grab the next item and drop it. Just be really quick. Wasn't the best example I gave there, but I hope that makes sense. Moving on, another good mod. So I'm going to put these mods up right now because you guys can see them. So, Gamemaster effects. Then you have the other mod, which is the Gamemaster Enhanced. And you know what? I'm going to go over a little bit about this Gamemaster. Gamemaster Enhanced, essentially, if I go over to a building, right, what I can actually do is I can go ahead and go inside said building. Hold square on the building itself. That's this little button right here, add garrison. This is so nice. On vanilla, you would just have to put guys into a building. If they ran out, they ran out. Most of the time they wouldn't stay in it. But this allows a whole new CQC part of the game. Adding a garrison and then switching to the enemy faction that you want, and you can drop any of these people in here. I'm gonna drop these 4 guys, right? You got a couple guys on the roof. We got a couple guys in the stairwell now. And downstairs, and these guys won't just leave. These guys will permanently stay in this building even if they're taking fire. They will stay there and defend it until they are dead, which is a beautiful part of the Gamemaster Enhanced. But then not only that, guys, let me delete these guys real quick. Not only that, but my favorite part to it, let's actually go down to Gamemaster effects. Not only that, guys, but it does add where is it? Hold on. Oh, sorry, it's under system. It's Gamemaster Enhanced, but it's under system. I forget. So it adds this beautiful little thing right here, which is Intel. But what you can do is you can customize it. You go hold square on top of it, and you go up to edit properties, and you can change what it says. I could say that it's a training sheet for ISIS. And then down here I could put what the intel is. You know, I can create unique scenarios with this, and people. The thing is, though, is people can legitimately walk over and pick it up, and it also has the intel in it. So it'll say what the intel says, and I can open it up in my inventory. It'll also show in GM that I'm carrying it. But I could type something away there, and it would say there. Makes the mission seem much more real. Much more fun. Um, and then ambient flying is also part of Gamemaster Enhanced. I can literally send a group of helicopters flying over a particular AO. I have to drop multiple of them. I have to be multiple of them at a time, but I have to be fast, so that I can send multiple choppers very quickly to fly over a scenario, which I always thought was really cool on this one. Now, it only does Russian helicopters and Huey helicopters, but if I was on a Vietnam server and I dropped this and I just entered the server and I saw this, I'd be like, oh, heck yeah, this is cool. So again, guys, that is Gamemaster Enhanced along with Gamemaster Effects. So let's go ahead and go into the next part of it, guys. Moving on, we have this one right here, the IHGM prompts collection. I'm gonna pop that one up now so you can see it. Okay, so what this one is, it is basically the same kind of prompts you just saw me picking up, but there's so much more. I mean, we got cell phones, we got notebooks, we got laptops, and they're literally pretty cool. Anything you can think of. I really like some of these prompts. I'll explain it in a second. I'll just show you kind of what they are right now. He keeps adding new ones too. That's kind of what they are, but cool thing about this though, if I want to like hide some of these prompts, the computer can pick up. Like a suitcase, for example, what I can do is I can actually open it up and I can put the prompts inside. So I put the Intel and the computer in there. And I could pick this whole thing up if I wanted to, but I could also leave it. So when I'm clearing a building, I'm like, hey, we got a suitcase over here. Open up the suitcase, find a laptop and some Intel. That's something you could do within the app, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. It makes the scenarios feel much more real. Alright, one other thing, guys. Something else you can do, I almost forgot to mention. You can actually download this mod. Which is known as Ace Captives Dev. And if I hover over an object or a person, I can actually make them surrender. Toggle surrender. And now somebody can literally walk up with zip cuffs and they can tie me up and then they can transport me. So I don't have zip cuffs here at the moment, but I could literally walk up to them. And what it would look like is I would actually, after I got them on them, they'd be zip tied, and I would literally carry them around, kind of like this. I can put them in vehicles and stuff. It does look kind of janky when I carry them around, but it works for capturing individuals and moving them. So it does the trick. Alright. Moving on, guys. Now we've talked about the different mods a little bit, so let's talk about the actually being able to control AI, getting him to move locations, get him to do what you want to do. Let's talk about it real quick. So we're in the Middle East. Let's use the Middle East insurgents, okay? Let's make an awesome scenario somewhere. Let's say, I don't know. Let's find somewhere cool to work with. This camp looks like a good little spot here. Kind of a compound of such. Let's use it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is obviously we need to set some guys down, right? Well, these guys will, if you drop some guys by themselves and they go to attack, they will endlessly hunt them down until they have exited the AO and no longer have eyes on them. So 500 meters out, they probably will chase them down for a good long distance, and then they'll stop. And then they might wander back, or they might stay there. Very difficult. But if I don't want these guys to leave this compound, I'm going to tap square on them, or X if you're on Xbox, and then I'm going to tap B or circle. Now notice my little white circles that are around the entities themselves, right? That's the key. That's how you know you're doing it right. You're going to hold Y or triangle. And now this is going to give me my little ring. All the little things I can do, I can make these guys walk to a location of my choosing. I can make them run. Let's have them force run for a second while I'm talking about this. Now notice how my rings are still on them, right? I'm still controlling them. The whole triangle again. I can make them move to relax, like just walk over there. I can have them search and destroy an area. I can have them defend an area, get into a vehicle or mortar pit, get out of a vehicle or some other entity like a machine gun or mortar pit, suppress fire randomly in that specific location. I don't think they caught that one. Or I could also have them artillery fire if they were on a mortar pit. I could have them bomb a location. But you know, let's say I want these guys to defend the front gate over here, right? So I'm just gonna set them to defend. I'm gonna put them at the front gate. They're gonna walk over there or run. They're gonna go defend that area. They will not move from that area. They will stand there and they will defend it until they die. But I mean, that doesn't seem like quite enough. So let's say we'll put some snipers. If I go over to characters, I can choose individual people. So let's say I want to have a sniper, sharpshooter for instance. Put them up in the tower here. And they spawn another one over here. We got ourselves a pretty good thing going on here. But if these guys were attacking at night, maybe they didn't see them. This base would seem pretty boring. You know, you got a couple guys at the front gate. We need to add a little bit more depth. So let's say we want to have some patrols going on, right? If I drop a 2-pack here and I press square, get a little circles, little white circles going around the guys, and I press circle to that and hold triangle where I want them to walk. And if you look at the very bottom down here below these two markers, you'll see that little round circle that has arrows going in a circle. That basically is, if I click that up, what that is it's a following orders indefinitely key. So what I'll do is when I have this up here, I'll press the up arrow key once, and you see how that little light came on? Now what I can do is I can have these guys walk to a location, and I'll have them slow walk, and they'll get next to each other in their formations, and then they will start to slow walk. They will walk to that location. Now the key is, before they get there, what I really want to have them to do is I want to have them go over here. And now they're going to walk over there too. Let's say for the heck of it, we'll put one more over here. So now, what these guys are going to do is they're going to walk boom, 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 and they're going to keep doing that. So now they're on a patrol. You can do this with guys in vehicles, for instance. So let's make this space look a little bit more like it's being used for a second. We'll drop some vehicles off here. Make it look like it's a real base, you know. Always pay attention to detail, guys. Attention to detail is something that's highly overlooked, but the more detail you make, look there. Look at that. They'll always speak, by the way, before they move to another location. Nothing really can do about that. So they're just guarding the base, on patrol. You can kind of already see it coming together a little bit. But let's say we have a vehicle now, right? Vehicles are a little different. We'll spawn a vehicle right here. But we want this vehicle to go on patrol too, right? It's the same exact thing, guys. It's super easy. You just take a 2-man group. I always use 2-man because this is technically a 3-man vehicle. So if you put a squad down, one person will spawn outside. Now if they're not all in the vehicle, pro tip, let's do a 4-man team. See how this guy spawned out? If I go to send these guys, they won't go because of this guy. Now you can just drop a 4-man group and go bloop, and it'll work. Tap square, tap circle, and then send them right here. You know, we'll just tell them to force move right here. You'll know it was working because you'll hear the car start up. There you go. Usually when I hear the car start up, I just ditch it. I ditch the area and let them do their thing. Now vehicles can be a little bit more tricky because the AI is not super advanced. But if I tap square on that, guys, and I went ahead and put a marker right here, I press my up arrow key to get that light on. I tell them force move here, and then I send another one force move here, another one over here force move here. And tap circle. They'll move on their own. They would circle this area just completely. Now again, the AI aren't super smart, so sometimes they'll have a little trouble doing it perfectly. But they will try. It's not perfect. This is why I normally don't use it. Yeah, exactly. You kind of get an idea why I don't use it too much. Normally what I do is, pro tip, if you want them to seem like they're doing a great job, just send them to one location. Basically, let's say for instance, you can see that they're starting to do it, but if there's, this firehouse for example, there's a firefight going on, and I got actual players here on the multiplayer server that are getting ready to get in a big firefight. What I'll do is I'll never spawn them in the middle of the, you know, within eyesight, because that takes away from the immersion. What I'll do is I'll just spawn two guys and click on it and then force them just a couple blocks away, because they'll make this turn no problem. They'll make that turn absolutely no problem. Look at that, no problem whatsoever. Now these guys down here will probably start to hear the vehicle right about now, and they'll look, and then that's when they see the vehicle down there, and they'll start to engage. Now if you drop a vehicle down here, drop a vehicle up there, and then one over here, and send them all boom 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 at the same time, they'll all make their way there, and it adds to the immersion, making it feel like it's a city with a lot of life, and then it'll work out well. But doing patrols and stuff like this, I tend not to do it so much, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do it. Adds a little bit to the scenario. So now we know how to get the guys to take walks. We know how to get guys to run patrols. We know how to get vehicles to do patrols. Now let's talk about actually taking control of people. Since the 1.6 update, whenever you take control of somebody, it actually causes them to sound really weird. We used to be able to take control of anybody and it didn't sound like all static and stuff. And since making this video, maybe they fixed it, but since the 1.6 update, things have gotten a little strange. So in the multiplayer server, if I, nope, get out of there. No, you didn't see him. I'm gonna get this guy out of here though. That was me. Whoop, whoop. If I just hold square on this guy, you'll see this little icon, a little puppet master icon here. If I can just take control of him, and now I'm taking control of him, so I could start shooting at the players near them. I tend not to kill players because it really makes people mad when you start killing them. But what I do is I shoot next to them and throw grenades in their general vicinity and kind of scare the heck out of them, and it adds to the immersion. But I can literally shoot my gun and everything. If I tap L1 to talk here, though, you'll see that little Gamemaster icon next to the left side of the screen, next to my microphone, so my mic would sound all staticky. And we really don't want that. There is a way around that, and the best way to do it is to come up here, go over to create new AI group, and then do it again, but take control. And now what it's done, you'll see your name if you've done it successfully over here. Now you will have to do this every time, but it is a bulletproof way to make your character talk without having that AI voice. So what I do is I go back. I just hold touchpad and triangle to go back to my character, and it would automatically make this guy my character versus my actual player. And now when I tap L1, you'll notice there's no Game Master icon. So it allows me to talk freely and I sound like an actual guy. Now if I could just talk with a Middle Eastern Arabic accent, I could really do some role playing. Really mess with the guys. Excuse me, but I digress. Another little pro tip there. Alright. Now where are we? Where else can we talk about from here? Coming down to the bottom here, guys, you'll see modded. You go under modded, it's going to show you anything that's modded that you have in your modded server. All kinds of things that you can come across, you can see and stuff. Just helps you narrow it down when you're on a modded server. If you want to know what kind of mods there are or what there is, you can see that very easily. A couple honorable mentions for GM as well, guys. I see all these up here. These are obviously different than what you're probably used to. They're mortars, but they're not like the vanilla mortars in the game. These ones are a little bit more different. They pack quite a bit more of a punch. You can also do barrages as well. I'm going to put that mod up so you guys can see it right now. Basically, guys, what this in particular mod is, this mod allows you to call in barrages of mortars. It's a mortar expansion. But if I go up here to edit properties and click that, I can choose how many rounds come through. I can choose the speed that they come into, and I can expand the radius to whatever I see fit. And you can actually set these and then not mess with them, and then do the op, and then when you're ready, or they get in the vicinity or they're under attack, you can actually go back and then flip this switch, activates them. It's a permanent. After you activate it, you cannot be stopped. And then boom, baby. Something like that happen will really change somebody's immersion. You know, they'll be really scared. You probably heard me say immersion so many times, I'm gonna stop saying that word. Let's talk about something else. Bottom left side of the screen, right? You'll see the weather. You'll see the time of day. You'll see the dates, and you'll have this little button down there that says Edit Scenario Properties. Bottom left side of the screen. That's my little options key. If I hold my options key, I have all these tabs show up. So it's another way to set your factions. Also, it has settings like this, which are global supply usage. Do I want this to be treated like a conflict? Do I want this to be able to have supplies that I can go pick up with a truck and take them out to a different destination? You can switch that, absolutely, and you can set up supply points and make it so that, you know, the main base doesn't have supplies and you gotta go get supplies and bring them back. If you want to set it up kind of like a conflict, you can definitely do that as a GM. Also, these are all modifications of said supply point. Excuse me, I haven't slept. Down here you have the kill feed type, so I like to disable this because I like to have that ultra realism and not know if my teammates are dead or if there's something that happened to them. I like to be able to keep an eye on it and then turn back around and be like, yo, where's so-and-so? And be like, oh, heck, well, go find him. We got to find out what happened, you know, like go search for him. I like that. I don't like seeing it pop up on my screen and then naturally just turn around and be like, hey, you know, so-and-so died. I don't like that personally. So I keep that kill feed off. But also, this basically makes it so that your rank determines what supplies you get. You have that in conflict mode a lot. You don't have it here in Gamemaster so much. This is all the different things that can allow people to have when they spawn in. If there's an arsenal or something, they can choose all these things. Um, Punish team killing, essentially. It's what a lot of that stuff there is. This is something new they added. I'm so glad they added. If I turn all of these off, no HUD, no name tag. Well, there's a HUD, but no name tags that hover over your friendly players and stuff, which is really nice. Um, this one's basically animations that are allowed that you can put into the game. I'll put that mod up right now. Basically, what it does, guys, is if I hold R1 and push in R3, I have this whole wheel of animations, so I can do everything between making my guy just kind of stand off, and, look like a badass, or I could have him look like a goofball. So you can do specific dances. Yeah, there's all things you can choose from that are pretty goofy, but there's also some pretty cool stuff in there as well. It's just a quick action wheel, essentially. I'm repairing a tire to a vehicle. Good for role playing. Next up, if I go back to that, guys, you will notice that you have this one. Now, I have a lot of options here. The reason why that is because I have this mod. The atmospheric weather mod, guys. This is a fantastic mod. They also have another version which adds a fog, which if you use it on the desert map, it almost looks like a sandstorm. You might have seen some of my videos where it looks like there was a sandstorm, and those videos just adds to the intensity of the immersion of the game, which is another reason why it is great to have as a game master. You can change the time of day. You can change it to whatever you want. You can change the weather. If you scroll over, you can change the weather too. I could have it rainy, and I could have it at nighttime. I can do all that. Add bolts of lightning in the background. Maybe not so much in Fallujah. It makes absolutely no sense, but also you can have it automated. You can do automated wind too. And if you ever hear that annoying sound in the background, like you probably heard for the longest time, you can go whoop. And now you don't hear it at all, which is quite nice, if I do say so myself. You also, at the very end, you have your fuel consumption rate, which if you want to make it seem realistic, I recommend going to about 13, or 15 if you want to make it a little bit more difficult, 17 if you want to make it really hard. You don't need to go too crazy with it. Enable unconsciousness, the global skill of all your enemies and stuff, make it more difficult. Adds a little bit more to the game itself. Uh, Also, guys, let me see if I can actually do this. Sometimes this glitches out. So if you select the actual person by themselves, go to Edit Properties. You'll have, hold fire. If they get shot, they get shot. You can also have them return fire. You can have them fire at will when they see the enemies. You can change their formations. This again is all about Gamemaster Enhanced. That's that other mod that I talked about earlier. Forgot to mention this. You can override their health. And if you ever want to make somebody kind of like pass out in the battlefield and it's a urgent medical situation where they have to heal them using some of the Ace medical mods, which are really good. You can lower their blood and they'll pass out. And when they come over, they'll have to, resuscitate them, provide CPR, bandages, things like that. In this case, they were very low in blood, so they all died. You also change their skill level as well. Or as a GM, if you want to be in the area to hear what's going on, turn yourself invisible. You're still there, but you're just invisible. Really great thing to do if you're uh, doing some GM stuff. But they can hear you walking around, so don't get too close. Also, guys, right here, structures behind and placeables behind are an absolute great mod if you want to be dropping structures and stuff. I mean, you have some amazing stuff here, guys, like full-on bunkers. Now it does. I didn't put it in the flat area. Actually, you know what? This is. Hold on. Let me just move this out to the air filter so you can see it. There you go. I did raise it a little bit. Now I could lay this flat perfectly and it would look good. It wouldn't be much of a difficulty. It wouldn't be too difficult. But you've got a full control room up here, server room, some pretty cool stuff. I mean, you got warehouses. You got, personally like this one a lot. Oop, not that one. This one. And if you have a mod that says you can sit, is the name of the mod, you can actually sit in these chairs, which is really nice. Tents, medical tent. They have a actual barracks tent as well. I apologize, guys, if I'm going too fast. Empty tents, you can place stuff inside of them. Some pretty cool things here. Award ceremony. Some really cool stuff. All kinds of stuff, guys. I really like this one too because of the lighting. Now, this is placeables. Cool thing about this though, is if you actually change the time of day. Let's go nighttime. It gives you really good light in buildings, but you can actually shoot the light out as well. So if you're in a stealth op or something, you can shoot the lights out, which is pretty cool. One of the reasons I forgot, I get so sidetracked, I apologize, guys. Something that I meant to show you guys right back here, we were talking about the mortar one, right? Gamemaster effects. This mod's kind of experimental. He is doing a lot of things on it to change them up, but there is a particular mod that I am very happy with. It's very cool. I'm pretty sure it's this one. This one cannot go without mentioning. Now you want to make sure you don't have too many entities out because this will crash the multiplayer server. But man, is it cool? Napalm strike. How cool is that, guys? You want to rain death upon your enemies in Vietnam? That's the way to do it, guys. Very, very cool. But you can see it's a lot of entities there. It takes up a huge chunk. Actually, if you look at the bottom right, you'll actually see how much you use it. When I say it says 37% there, 40%. If I delete it, yeah, so just that one was 37% budget, which means you really only launch 2 of those and then you're maxed out of budget. Be careful with those. Make sure you're planning it. I was about to cut the video, but I kept finding stuff I could show you guys. So here's another mod that's coming up right now, guys. Vinny Sounds. He has a couple different mods, but to be honest, this particular one, Vinny Sounds, is probably my favorite. Adds a bunch of Middle Eastern and Russian stuff as well. You can quite literally just listen to some of the stuff he's got. But if I'm approaching the city, you know, this sounds pretty dull if I'm approaching the city. You know, I need something that's going to help the immersion and they increase the ambience. But listen to this. You know, imagine if I was driving in a Humvee right here. I hear that sound go off. Or let's add a little bit more. Let's say, here you go. You know, that adds a lot. Or even sound traffic, maybe. Don't use that one too much, it's too loud. Distant sheep if I was out in the field. So a lot of these work with each other. Let's say we were had IED team over here defusing the car bomb on this vehicle, and as they were doing it, the alarm went off. So let's say here's a good example. Let's say that they got close to the vehicle. So that's a perfect example, right? You hear that cell phone go off, and then the explosion. Remember how I was talking about these tabs earlier? That's the perfect example. So that was a good one. Couldn't think of one earlier. Ambience in the market. Drop a bunch of civilians in here. Have them walking around doing patrols and stuff. It's a really good one too. Vinny Soundscape, great mod. I hope I didn't go too fast for you guys. I was trying to keep the videos short, but as informative as possible. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hope it really helps you guys become a GM if you're very new to GMing. I hope that it's going to help you uh, really hone your skills a little bit, and I hope you get put into a vanilla server with somebody needing to GM, and you just amaze and dazzle everybody, because that's what it's about, guys. We're all here for the community and building better scenarios so that we all can profit and enjoy an awesome scenario that somebody's built for us. So, GMs, have fun. I appreciate if you guys leave a like. I'm trying to get to 1,000 likes on this video if possible. I'm a very amateur YouTuber, but hopefully it ends up going somewhere. But I hope you all have a awesome time, and I'll see you in the AO. Later.